Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's yours truly, Thomas Ruzbazar, with the Poet Warriors. Coming back at you with another Writers 101. And it's hot. I should have the AC on, but I don't, like a dummy, because it makes noise. There's going to be a background noise. And people will complain of that hum in the background. And I'll never hear the end of it, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's get to it. I just shipped off my manuscript, Chupa, to my editor after my revisions, and now I play the waiting game. Well, not really. It's interesting because how long does it normally take? Well, it depends on the size of the manuscript. Mine's about 45,000 words, which is novella length. Anywhere from 20,000 to 50,000, I believe, is novella length. Anything over 50,000 is more of like a novel. Back in the day, what I heard, I don't know if this is true anymore with the current, how should I say, expectations for manuscript length. Back in the day, 80,000 to 120,000 was the criteria of a novel, you know, what agents are expecting. But now, years passed, and when I say years, a few years, post-COVID, I don't know with our generation and the distractions and length of concentration. For me, it's increasingly difficult to read anything that length. 80,000 to 120,000 words. We're talking, I don't know, 300 pages to 500 pages, something like that. I guess maybe they're thinking, okay, well, you know, if they're going to spend money, you know, you want to spend some time with the book, the length of a book. But with that, there's so much description. There's so much information, I think, for any kind of novel of that length. I don't write like that. Not that I'm writing for that purpose because of, you know, less distractions, less concentration. That is a real thing. I write because of my style is more less description. I think I put only the necessary. I think I do anyway. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So I'm playing the waiting game. I should get my book back probably within 2 weeks, 3 weeks. My edited book. I will take it from there and do my final edits on her edits, my editor's edits. Can I say that one more time? My editor's editorial edits. How's that for alliteration, folks? What else? So the waiting game, you just don't wait. I think now the next step is a query letter, which is probably more difficult than writing the actual novel if you were to ask writers about the query letter and summing up this one-page, basically, pitch. It's almost like an elevator pitch that goes on for about 300 words. And, you know, you got to set it up with kind of like a hook, stakes, the journey, and the kind of... I could be more precise, so I'm not going to get into it now because I'm going to talk about a query letter and another one, but the query letter. Query letter is basically a one-page synopsis and introduction, biographical introduction of you, the writer, to the agents, so they get probably hundreds of these a day, dozens of these a day, thousands of these a year, and that really will hopefully hook them to being interested in your book. They usually ask you to send a sample, of your novel. Usually the first 5 pages, 10 pages, three chapters, which usually equates to about 50 pages. So it depends on the on the agent and what they're asking for. So the query letter is what I'm writing now, working on. And I also show my editor, who's very helpful in this way, to get another set of eyes on, because she knows my story now. She spent quality time on my story, and I would want her feedback on my query letter. And there's also another thing, a synopsis, which is usually another page and a half long, thumbnail kind of, you're breaking down, introducing characters, action, what takes place, so like beginning, middle, and end of your novel, which is tough to write as well. The query letter and synopsis are very essential for writers. It's something that you must do and always submit. Some agents, publishers just ask for a query letter. Some ask for a query letter, sample pages. Some ask for query letter, sample pages, and a synopsis. Right, those three things. And you have to do your homework. And we're going to get into, when we cross that bridge, who to submit to, what agents, that whole process. And that's a lot of grunt work, folks. It's a lot of grunt work and a lot of talk about waiting anxiously, right, for any kind of response, if you get any response, which is another thing about the publishing world, which makes me blah, blah. Anyway, sorry, that was very unprofessional. Sorry about that. But anyway, how many times do I say but anyway? But anyway, here we go. Waiting for my edited manuscript. I'll take it and go over the final one, right? And it's ready to send out. This culminates a 2.5 year process of first working on that first time I put pen to paper to now with a, you have your various Google or Microsoft Word or PDF copy of whatever you have to send of your manuscript or sample manuscript. Then usually agents, again, if they're interested in that query, they usually request a full manuscript. That's what they call it. Your whole entire work, your entire novel, book. And that's a good thing. That's a good sign. However, that can be tricky as well, because I've had folks who say, hey, I'm interested, send me your full manuscript. Usually a writer, that's like, oh, wow, I got some attention here. This might be a possibility. Sometimes they don't even respond after they ask for your full manuscript, which is very poor, which is really terrible. Anyway, I don't want to end on that note. Writer 101, waiting game, but don't wait. Work on that query, start working on that synopsis. I'll get more into nitty gritty and query letter, like explanation of it, and synopsis, explanation of it, and another snack. Peace.
Tasty.